Okay, and we're gonna move on to the next one. Quite literally. Alright, so this is the Tomb of Tehocan. Not to be confused with Toucan Sam. This level is actually very straightforward. It's not like Tomb of Qualopec where it's like kind of compact, I guess. It's rather like condensed but linear. I don't know how to explain it. I'll get into it when we get into it. But I actually like this level a lot. I wouldn't say it's my favorite level, but it's actually really cool. There's a little bit of a bullshit part, but you know, that's whatever. I'm still like feeling the disappointment in my body talking about that crab cake story too. I am dead serious, dude. When you want to make something like dinner that's really nice and something fucks up, it sucks. Like, I've done this before where like I made a oh Jesus, what was it? They were like, oh, I'm trying to think. It wasn't the eggplant. That's just a travesty. God damn it, what was it? Oh, it was like some cookies or something, but I had like no sugar. Or no, it wasn't flour. Yeah, it was flour. Because at the beginning of the pandemic, those of you who don't know, I bake a lot because it's just stress relief, right? So in the beginning of the pandemic, flour was actually limited to 1 for most... Oh shit, that was scary shit. Flour was limited to 1 at almost every single store. And I don't know why, because... I'm just gonna say it right now, if you're a fucking lunatic hoarder, why are you hoarding flour? Like, you probably don't know what you're doing. Why bother? But yeah, flour was limited to 1. So at first though, it was like there was no flour. Like it was just gone. I had to go to like Walmart, and I never shop at Walmart. I fucking hate Walmart. I'm a Fred Meyers man. And because apparently I'm an 80-year-old white woman, I guess. I don't know. So I had to ask a fucking guy. I'm like, so do you guys have a flour? And he looks at me and he's like, I don't know. Let me go check. So I'm just we only got this, and he hands me this bag of like organic, weird, like fucking vegan gluten-free flour, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. You're starting to see a pattern here. When I cook with weird shit I don't know what to do with, and I'm like, okay, so I make cookies and they're not rising properly, and I'm like, alright, that's weird. So I left them in for like another 10 minutes and they fucking turned to rocks, and I was so mad. I have never fucked up cookies in my life, and I've baked cookies for years. You gotta understand, like, that's one of the first things I learned how to bake. So this weird fucking faux flour was, like, just not working for me. I don't know. I've tried, like, cooking with, like, weird organic shit, like, I mean, this sounds weird, but I used to live on a 100-acre farm. I used to actually grow quite a bit of food. I grew, like, zucchinis, pumpkins, like, squash, like, fucking everything under the sun that you can grow in Oregon, which is quite a lot. And, oh, man, I miss it. But, you know, I grew up eating, like, actual food, like, that we grew in the ground and, like, put on the plate. Like, in the same day, like, all of our eggs were, like, from chickens. All of our, like, produce, like lettuce and everything, was homegrown. It was all like we did it ourselves. So I'm very, very used to, like, you know, actual organic food. So it's not like I'm sniffy, like, ew, fucking organic people are weird. No, I actually grew food. So I mean, trust me, it sounds fun until you realize, oh motherfucker, I forgot about you. Well, we'll deal with you later in the episode here. But, essentially, yeah, don't let him corner you, because I'll show you why in a second. Okay, please fuck off. Thank you. So, this thing is basically an instant kill. Oh, God. This shit makes me so uncomfortable. I'm gonna heal up just in case. And save, because this is almost guaranteedly an instant kill. But yeah, like... I don't know, a lot of, like, organic food is just weird. But you may be like, oh, what are you, one of those lunatics that likes Crisco? Oh, fuck no. That's not food at all. Crisco belongs in the trash. Butter is where it's at. So anyway, see that ledge up there to my forward direction? That's where we need to go. I know that sounds like, okay, well, that's obvious. Well, not really. Like, oh, excuse me, there's not really much that telegraphs you that if you go the other direction first, which is where you're more than likely to be inclined to go. So, I'm picking this shit up now while I have the time. I don't know, man. I don't fucking cook with Crisco. That shit's weird. I don't even know what Crisco fucking is. It's like this weird homogenized, like, animal fat byproduct that I have no idea what it is. You know what isn't that? Butter. You know what's really cheap? Butter. Like, I don't use margarine either. I only cook with real butter. And no, I don't have cholesterol issues either because you don't cook with a fucking stick of butter for, like, mashed potatoes. I don't know. You know, I've said this before in a Diablo 2 video, but it's really true. Once you, like, cook shit from scratch, you really don't, like, go back to, like, buying boxed shit. Like, I know how to make real macaroni, like the baked kind. I fucking love it. It just takes, like, an hour to do. So, this shouldn't be enough to hit me, I hope. I'm not getting those shotgun shells, because that shit's way too dangerous for me. I'm not a fan of nearly dying getting just, like, a shotgun shell. So, yeah, like, once you make mashed potatoes from scratch or pancake... I haven't made, like, pancakes from a box in, like, a year, almost. I mean, they're really easy. They're just, like, fucking flour, water, eggs, sugar, like, baking powder or baking soda, whatever you want to use. Like, the correct amount, of course. I usually use about 2 tablespoons. And, like, if you want to make waffles, just add, like, 2 tablespoons of, like, vegetable oil. There you go. Like, you want to know the secret to, like, most baked goods? It's pretty basic. Like, a lot of shit's really not that hard to make. And I'm dead serious. You'll save a lot of money, like, once you start doing that. I don't know why that thing didn't active, like, right there, but okay. What's another thing that's, like, really basic to make? Like, rice. I don't understand why people buy, like, prepackaged, like, boil in a bag rice. Rice is the easiest shit on the planet to make. It tastes so much better, too, like, when you make it from scratch. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a pretentious asshole, but truthfully, between me and my roommate, we only spend, like, $100 individually for, like, a month and a half. Like, so... cooking from scratch is actually very cheap, and it's very fun. I actually enjoy cooking from scratch every day. Like, you want to make your own pad thai? It's real easy. Like, pad thai sauce is basic, or, like... there's just so many things. Like, once you learn how to do it, you basically never go back. I'm not saying it's wrong to use, like, pre-packaged food. Like, shit, dude, I don't care about, like, taking peas out of the fucking freezer and putting them in a bag of hot water and then, like, putting them in the fucking steam. No, just grab yourself a can of peas and just strain them out and then put them, like, in a bowl. It's not hard, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. Like, because you gotta remember, like, well, fucking, I should have just used the shotgun. That is, like, a dangerous fucking spot. I had that coming. I really did. I was talking shit about, like, box mac and cheese, which I actually love. You know, I've met people that hate box mac and cheese, and I can totally understand why. Like, if you've had that and only that for years, you'll probably hate it. And I'm kind of like that with top ramen. I didn't grow up eating top ramen. I know that's crazy, because I didn't grow up poor, but I grew up almost below the poverty line for the most part. So I didn't have a lot, like I said, I grew a lot of food. So most of the time, my family, we just, like, ate, like, a hodgepodge of every now and then we'd have fast food, or, like, every now and then, like, we'd have, like, a cheater meal. Damn it. I want my fucking revenge on this goddamn gorilla. I'm so mad about that. You could have argued, like, well, why didn't you just use a shotgun? Well, fuck you. But, also, this is a nice little, like, iffy platform. So if you try to jump straight onto that, that door texture, you'll actually slide off of it and fall and die. So don't do that. But, yeah, I grew up almost below poverty line. So you'd think we'd have a lot of, like, top ramen and shit. No, we just grew a lot of shit. Like, I grew up eating, like, a lot of homemade food. And, like, it was rare that I actually got to have, like, fast food or... The reason I was a gross, disgusting fat kid was because I had, like, well... when I was in high school, when I was a freshman, I used to eat nothing but, like, French fries and shit when I could. So, there's that. Also, this is a very odd instance. I don't know if this is the PC version only. But, okay, watch what happens here. So, once I put the key in here, this is weird. Okay? I don't know if this happens on the PSX version. It plays the secret tone, despite this being the way forward. I don't know if that's supposed to be a PSX thing as well, but it's weird. It plays that sound cue. Anyways, so... I don't know. I never grew up with top ramen because we just grew so much shit. Like, I'm dead serious. We grew carrots, potatoes, peas, everything. Like, the basic essentials of, like, standard-ass dinner. Like, we grew... Well, I didn't eat beef, but... I mean, we raised cattle, we raised pork, we raised, like, turkeys, like, stuff like that. So everything we had was, like, homemade. So to me, it's just weird that people would eat, like, top ramen and shit, or just that for dinner. I'm like, that can't be healthy. And, like, so I never actually, like, ate it. I remember my dad... This is a funny story. I love this. So if you go to, like, any grocery outlet store... I'm trying to think of, like, they're called, like, duplex cookies. So, like, they're not Oreos, because they're different than Oreos. Like, oh, damn, I hate this puzzle. It's not a puzzle, it's just push things onto thing, and it opens up a door. So, like, my dad, this is why, you gotta realize, my dad isn't the greatest person ever, but he has, like, the worst sense of humor, and I didn't know it at the time. So, my dad would, like, go shopping, and he'd be like, oh, look, there's some welfare cookies. And, like, I didn't know what he meant. I think this is supposed to be the Rosetta Stone, by the way, that's on this texture, but I could be wrong. Anyways, so, because he would talk about, like, oh, me and my friend so-and-so, when we were kids, we'd go over to his house, and we'd eat welfare cookies or whatever. So, I'm, like, 9 years old. Or not 9 years old, I'm, like... 6 probably at best, and I remember I was shopping with my mom and I said, Mom, can we get welfare cookies? And she like fucking nearly backhanded me because she thought I was being insulting to poor people because I had no idea what welfare was either. And like she's like, who the fuck told you that? And I was like, oh, Dad. And she's like, fucking Kevin. Like, oh my god, it was so funny. Like, because I didn't know that that was an insult, like, to, like, poor people or something. I thought they were just called welfare cookies. They're like the little, like, duplex cookies. They have, like, the, like, hard cookies, like, crunchy and delicious, and they have, like, chocolate cream ones. They have lemon cream ones. They've got, like, vanilla cream ones. They're so fucking good. But they're really cheap. They're, like, $1.20 for, like, a bag of, like, 50 of them. But, oh man, I will never forgive my dad for that. I got into so much fucking trouble for saying that. Like, I never made fun of people for being poor either. That was the other thing, like, because to me, people are people. So when I was a kid, I didn't, like, grasp that Billy Willie was poor or whatever. Like, that was shit just unbeknownst to me. Like, I knew that people could be poor, but it just, I don't know, I never judged people for it. This is a very fun little area. It's Boulder City, USA 2.0. Like, okay. Just do that, you should be safe. But this is actually a no bullshit story. This makes me smile. So my grandpa, he was very unhealthy. I don't mean like he was fat. I mean like he was very unhealthy and he couldn't eat like a lot of sweets or, you know, pretty much anything for the most part. He was very like frail. And god damn, he loved Oreos so much when I was a little kid, because we lived he lived less than a quarter mile away from us on the same property, right? And my grandpa was the greatest person ever. He was so sweet and genuine. He was like, you know, most people like, oh, my grandpa was like this. They're probably actually like really shitty. No, my grandpa was like a genuinely awesome, wonderful, genuine, kind, honest man. He's like the reason I am the way I am. And like my kinder portions, I should say. And so when we go shopping, he used to shop at Safeway, and oh man, this makes me like almost cry a little bit. We go shopping with me and my mom, and he would like just like look at me and he'd go, "Don't tell your mom," and he'd put like this box of Oreos underneath something, and my mom would see it and she thought I did it, and he'd just look at her like, "Sherry, can we get these?" Because like he really fucking loved Oreos, and god damn, that like almost made me cry thinking about, like, he loved Oreos so much because his wife really liked them and she died really young, and he never married again, so it was probably one of those very few things that brought him like some memory that was joyful. So like he'd always put Oreos in the basket and my mom would never take them out. She knew I didn't do it. She knew it was my grandpa because he loved them too much to like, she couldn't say no to him because he knew that it made her, or she knew it made him happy. And so every time I go shopping now as an adult, I actually don't like Oreos that much, but my roommate does, but I'm not a huge Oreo fan. Oh, I hate this jump. Let's see if I can make it. But like every time I go shopping, I always get Oreos because I think of my grandpa and I always feel guilty for not buying them. I hope that makes someone's heart go, "Aw, dude, really? That's so genuine." Because it's true. I mean, I'm the cynical asshole, but like I have a soft spot for like certain things in my life, and that's one of them. Like I don't actually like Oreos that much, but I get those because they make me think of my grandpa, and it's one of those little few memories I have of not shitty childhood. So, oh man, I wish I could go back in time and tell myself, like, oh, just don't make the same mistakes you're gonna make in life. But if I could go back in time, I just want to see my grandpa's face as he puts a bag of Oreos in a shopping cart with like this, like, because his doctor was like, really like, "Ed, you can't eat like sweets, you can't eat like whatever." That man fucking loved coffee. Like, he loved coffee more than I do. And like, I'm thinking of some other part of the game. It's in Egypt where I'm thinking of, never mind. But he loved coffee. And this is no joke. My grandpa like drank black coffee, which is what I drink all the time. But he drank it in like 100-degree heat, which, okay, I do the same thing. But he like, oh my god. So this 100-acre farm, he'd fucking be on this tractor all damn day in like flannel fucking overalls and shit. And like I said, he's like this frail old gentleman. Like, he wasn't like a crazy white supremacist nut job. No, my grandpa was like a genuinely honest to God human being. And like, he'd just be drinking like black coffee and he didn't sweat because he had like that weird genetic dysfunction where you have like less sweat glands than the average person. So, oh man, it would make me uncomfortable too. But he had like kidney stone issues and like bladder stone issues, and his doctor was like, "Ed, you can't drink caffeine because you're gonna shut your kidneys down." But he didn't give a shit, so he actually had like this stash of coffee at the house that was next door to us, because I mean that was the same property. He'd go over there at like fucking 4 in the afternoon in that house, brew an entire pot of coffee, sit there and drink it on the porch, and then go back down to our house and drink decaf coffee and pretend it didn't do it. It was so fucking adorable. Like, my grandpa really was, like, a genuinely good person. I'm not trying to, like, hype him up like he's some crazy, like, superhuman, but my grandpa was really genuine. I loved him so much. I wish I could go back in time to just see his smile sometimes. It was sad. Alright, so now we can actually kill fucking Pierre Dupont, who apparently doesn't die because he's in another Tomb Raider game after this. So kill him, pick up the magnums, the key, and the piece of the ski-on. Oh, I'm sorry, that driddling piece of the ski-on. So, yeah, pretty anticlimactic if I'm being honest. I don't know if this is a PS1 exclusive reason, but you should technically be able to make that other centaur spawn, but I don't know why he doesn't do it on the PC version. I could have swore to God you fought 2 centaurs before you went in the tomb, but you don't. So, yeah. I don't know. It's weird. I can't remember all the major... There's not very many differences, but there's some differences between the PC and the PS1 version. I don't know. I don't remember the... I swear there's 2 centaurs. I know there is. That other one's supposed to come alive. I know there's another part in the game later where there is centaurs as well, but I don't know. I swear that there's supposed to be another one. I don't know. I probably fucked it up somehow. I'm sad now. I don't have very many positive childhood memories. My grandpa was the only person in my family that's ever been a decent human being. It's quite sad, but it's really true. Okay. So once we enter here, we're going to finish all the Rome section as well. Pretty dope. So I'm going to just basically watch this little cutscene.
Here lies Tehokan, one of the 2 just rulers of Atlantis, who even after the curse of the continent had tried to keep rule here in these barren other lands. He died without child, and his knowledge has no heritage. Look over us kindly, Tehokan.
And that's Tomb of Tehokan. It's pretty basic. It's actually a pretty easy level. I'm not going to show the FMV that plays after this because it's going to break the recording. But, yeah. I'm going to show you guys the Egypt section next, and I'll see you then. So, have a good one.